stage. And 40 some odd years later, it all still feels like a dream. And the best part is, despite being a member of the Radio Hall of Fame, I still have radio dreams. So I would love to wish everybody, both on and off the air today, a very, very happy National Radio Day, y'all. I'm Jim Rome. Remember, you can follow me on Instagram at Jim Rome.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8 year old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrock and Tommy Kester.
Well, hey, welcome in, everybody. Glad you're here with us today on a Thursday. It's Sports Daily. It's Jacob Albrock. It's Tommy Kester. We are with you for the next little while, taking you through your morning, getting you ready for a big weekend of sports action, including the start of college football. We'll check in from Ireland. Tim Fitzgerald, our KState insider, will call us here from Ireland right ahead of their opportunity to speak to KState for the first time. The Cats getting there. Well, some of them. The band I saw was stuck in the airport last night. But KState trying to get out there and take care of business against Iowa State. We'll check in with Fitz here in just a few minutes. We've also got to talk about a really disappointing one for the Royals last night as they let one slip away against the Rangers. Perhaps they shouldn't have. It ends the winning streak. No blood, as a lot of teams lost, but no opportunity either to get back even closer in the wild card. So we'll discuss that. We've got another NFL divisional preview to get you to as well. We are making our way through. We'll do the AFC North today, one of the good ones. So we'll have all that for you. It's Jacob Albrock and Tommy Kester. Tommy, good morning. How are you?
Happy Thursday. Looking forward to talking to Fitz a little bit earlier than we're used to this morning. Earlier for us, right. Later for him since he's in Ireland. But looking forward to hearing all about the Guinness consuming and all of that going on in Dublin right now.
We have lots of different ways you can get in touch with the program. All of this, by the way, is on tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company. Just announced the Kansas Lager Fest. Join WBC along with over a dozen more breweries for samples and celebration of the crisp, clean brews known as lagers. Go to www.wichitabrew.com to get your tickets now. A couple of things to get to here. We have lots of different ways you can get in touch with the program. You can message us on Facebook, on YouTube, on X, if you're watching our video stream. Thanks to those also watching us on 12 News Connected. You can call us at 869-1240. Max has that ready for you. And you can actually leave voice messages to us through the Odyssey app. If you're listening to the show, if you listen to us on demand and we're not live, however it is you're taking us in, you can leave us a voice message that we can get to, like this one that Max got yesterday. Now, Max, this one is from Jason, and it's in reference to a hot topic from the show last week.
Or if he's going to actually stay awake and help the driver. Thanks, guys. Love listening to you. This is your favorite listener, Jason. Heard Tommy's going to the Chiefs game on Friday. Just wanted to check in and see if he plans on napping on the way home or if he's going to actually stay awake and help the driver. Thanks, guys. Love listening to you.
Yeah, Jason, you better believe I'm going to be napping on the way home. I've got no shame in that game at all. No shame. I own that 100%. If I'm on a little bit of a road trip and I'm not driving, I have no shame in falling asleep. None whatsoever.
You love to shame me about my beautiful Hawaiian shirts, about pulling out a range ball on a water hole, all the things you want to shame me about. And you'll wear napping on the way home and bailing on your beer drinking buddies or your buddies in general for a road trip home. Boys, we're learning a lot here on Sports Daily.
Okay, so and you know our friend, our mutual friend that we're going to the game together, our friend Rob and myself. Shout out Rob. He and I are going to the game on Friday. We have not yet decided who's driving, so that has not yet entered the conversation. Now, of course, if I'm driving, I'm not napping. I draw the line because I know that there are.
Not.
Yeah, I know that there are some people out there that they drive and then they turn over the keys to their car to somebody else to drive them home so they can nap. I draw the line at that. If it's my car, I'm driving my car. I'm not going to turn the keys over to somebody else and say, you know what, I think I'm going to go to sleep. Would you drive us home? I'm not going to do that.
So here's the scenario that plays out. Let's say you are driving, which means you can't have the beers that you're going to want to have at the baseball game because you got to drive back.
Yeah.
And our buddy decides he wants to have several beers and have a great time while you have to sit there and take it. Then he's going to flip around and nap while you have to drive him home. I mean, are you his Uber driver? No. Like that's not that you can't. Like,
that doesn't bother me. Like if he decides he needs to fall asleep.
Well, let me
have any problem. I'll drive us home.
From the rest of society, if you're on the other side of that, it bothers people. Like you can't bail on your driver. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. I mean, our wives like to take a nap on the drive home if we're driving. You know what I mean? Like you can't, like that's a man code thing. Like that's a man code.
I've even considered like not in this particular case, but there have been times where I know I'm the passenger and I know it's going to be a late night. I might pack a pillow. I might bring a pillow with me. I don't even like. There's nothing wrong with that. Like why?
There's everything wrong with that.
Why pass up a great opportunity to sleep? Like I will nap whenever, wherever. I've got no issue with that at all.
This is not this. I am team nap. Like as a red-blooded dad, it's a part of the deal, but not when it comes at the expense of your buddy who is sacrificing the ability to have as much fun as you at the baseball game.
Well, if he can't nap because he's driving, why should I be punished for that?
Because he's already been punished because he can't drink the beers at the game.
Well, I mean, you make your bed, you have to lay in it.
Man, oh boy. If you want to chime in, again, there's lots of different ways you can. Email, voicemail, calls. We've got to have an intervention here, I believe, on this situation. But that's available for you. What's that?
Go ahead.
I have a driving story for you.
Okay.
In napping. So my friend and I we're on the 85 in California. In California,
1985, I assume.
No, this was 2001.
Okay.
And in California, the freeways, they have these Helen Keller bumps. We call them Helen Keller.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's driving and he goes, I'm going to take a little nap. Just let me know if any car in front of me stops. If I drift over, I'll hear the bump. I go, what? He goes, yeah, I'm going to just take a little nap.
Did he take a little nap?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow.
He goes, just let me know if something's in front of me.
I mean, at that point, shouldn't you just say, why don't you let me drive?
We were on the freeway.
I'm going to be, when we get to the point in technology when we can 100% fully rely on self-driving cars, I will be the first one in line for that. So I
got no problem with that.
I just want to be able to nap.
That's not the same thing. I'm with you on that.
The other caveat is I didn't used to be this way, but now that I've got little kids, I'm going to try to sleep as often as I can. Like some quiet time is totally fine. And the other thing too, there have been many, and I want to get your take on this also, and this conversation may go forever, but I also feel like sometimes when you're in a car with somebody for a super long amount of time, the conversation gets forced. Like people feel like you have to talk, you have to make small talk, you have to talk about things. And there comes a point, especially on the way home from an event, it's okay to just be quiet. Like maybe turn the radio up and just like chill. You don't have to talk to each other. And if I fall asleep, I fall asleep. It happens.
Yeah, with a couple of guys. I mean, that doesn't usually happen, in a group of people in a car. But if it's just you and a dude and you're driving, yeah, there's absolutely nothing wrong with quiet time. You just don't go to sleep. That's the only part of that.
Totally okay to go to sleep.
There.
Totally fine.
Okay. So we got to take a break here. We should be connecting with Fitz early in this show because they have media availability and the time change and all of these things. So we are going to get to that break. We're going to, try our best to make this connection. These are international connections, people. Give us a minute. We're going to try and connect with Fitz, make sure that's all good. Looking forward to a conversation from Ireland when we return on Sports Daily.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
The canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message, so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
This is Rich Eisen. Check out The Rich Eisen Show, 11 until 2 on Wichita's #1 sports station, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issue a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. We'll keep trying to connect with Fitz. The thing in Ireland right now is K-State just arrived, so plans could change. We'll try to make that connection. We can try and make it tomorrow if we can't today, but we'll be on our toes here for that. We did get an email, Tommy. That's another way that you can get in touch with the program. You can email us directly, which are easy to find, or you can email Sports Daily. But Mike emailed us in a question. Says he enjoys listening to the show. We appreciate that, Mike. A question regarding the Royals and Jack Caglione's return. So Cags returns to the Royals lineup sometime soon. Right now they're winning a bunch of games. Do you put him back in the lineup or do you put him on the bench? I think the first part of that is pretty easy, Mike. You don't call him up unless he's going to play. That won't happen. They won't call him up and sit him down. If they call him up, he will play baseball. So the question then I think, Tommy, becomes what do you call him up and how does his role look? I think that becomes the question.
Yeah, the landscape is a lot different now than it was the first time they called him to the big leagues. I mean, they had glaring and gaping holes in the outfield and offensively in the lineup. That they didn't have a choice but to call him up, and they needed to utilize him in a large way right away. It's a lot different now. I mean, if everybody remembers, he went down with that injury before the trade deadline, and then the Royals went out and addressed those needs at the deadline. And Mike Yastrzemski has been playing right field. He's a good defensive right fielder. He's been an offensive threat for them at the top of the lineup. They've got Randall Grichuk, that has, done well. John Rave has kind of come into his own a little bit. And I'm not saying that any of those guys from a ceiling perspective is better than what Jack Caglione could end up being in Major League Baseball in his career. But right now, the need is not as dire. It's not as dire of a situation as it was before, where you absolutely had to have him. So I go back to what Jalen Thompson said on our show on Monday. I believe it was Monday when we were talking about Jack Caglione and about how he thinks the Royals will probably wait until rosters expand at the beginning of September before they call him back up. Because if they make a move right this second, there has to be a corresponding move and somebody has to be sent down. So you can wait 10 days is kind of what he's suggesting. And I'm on board with that. I think that's fine. You let him continue to get back to 100%. You let him continue to gain his confidence back in AAA, and then you bring him back up when rosters expand.
He has been crushing it in the minor leagues all year long. Right now in the minor, he has 3 home runs in his last, 5 games, I think. He's hitting, just, I don't know, Tommy, 414 in August, which is
he was doing a lot of that the last time he was in the minors, right? Like that way, maybe not the average part of it, but I mean, he was crushing the baseball in both AA and AAA before they called him up.
Well, he's in AAA now. So look, he was in AAA right before the call up. He's back in AAA. He's hitting 414. His on base percentage is 469. He's not walking, which is something you'd probably like to see, but he's hitting for power. His slug is at 862. Like he's destroying AAA pitching. We shouldn't ignore that, because the reality is John Rave's hitting 200. Like at some point, you just slide Yastrzemski to left field and you plug Cags into right and you move on with your life. The thing is, and this is to Mike's point, I think the chemistry, they're winning games at the moment. The urgency isn't high. Somebody's going to lose at bats, either Adam Frazier probably or Jonathan India. You can play him at DH as well. You can play him at first base as well. Although I don't think you want to mess with Vinny Pasquantino right now and the way he's playing. So my guess would be he would play some right field. And when he does, it means John Rave or Grichuk's not going to play, or he can play some DH, and that would mean Frazier or India doesn't play, and India is heating up. So look, it's a good problem, I think. But the only thing you cannot do right now is take away his at-bats in general. You're still trying to develop a superstar, right? So you don't want to take those at-bats away at the moment. To the point you just made with Jalen Thompson, once rosters are expanded, the minor league season's over at that point. He wouldn't get bats anyway. So at that point, it doesn't matter. I think they'll get him called up before that. You can't ignore what he's doing right now in the month of August in the minor leagues. You just can't ignore it. It's been insane, just like it was before. What lessons has he learned at the big league level? Tommy, they could plug him in at the bottom of the lineup now, and it wouldn't matter, right? Like John Rave's in 200 and in the starting lineup. So who cares? Put Cags in there and give yourself the threat of the home run. I think they'll call him up. If I was guessing when they will call him up, I think the time would be perfect next week on their day off, perhaps. But he's just in Omaha.
If you're going to call him up, then why not call him up in advance of the trip to Detroit? Like why? Like why not do that?
Well, because I don't know that it's going to happen tomorrow, but it could. That's what I was going to say. You get him up before you go play these tough games at Detroit. They don't have a day off for that. Not that matters entirely, just because he has to drive over from Omaha. Look, today is a day game. You could do it. I don't know when they'll leave for Detroit, but you could do it today.
Because my point is that if you're going to wait until next week, then just wait until the beginning of September when you don't have to make a corresponding move. Like rosters are going to expand at the beginning of September. So there's really no point in.
Well, the point is, do you want him for the Detroit series? Yeah. The point is, do you want him for the Detroit series?
Well, I would say either do it right now, like do it after this Rangers series before you hit the road to Detroit, or wait until the beginning of September.
And I think, but the only issue with doing it at the beginning of September is you have to give him at bats then, right? Like you don't. It doesn't bother me if they send down John Rave. Like they're not. That's fine. He's got lots of options. That's not going to hurt anything with the roster. It's just if you call him up on September 1st, it can't just be because of that. It's going to be because you plug him into the lineup. So to me, if you're going to do that, just call him up now and plug him in ahead of the biggest series of your season against the Tigers. You play the Tigers, 6 times in the next 10 days, whatever it is. So like that to me is where you just have to decide, is he ready to come make an impact on the big league club? Because if you think he is, you call him up 3 days ago. You don't wait on that. You've got to win every single game that you're playing here. Last night, you score 3 runs. Wouldn't you have liked to had Cags in the lineup late in some of those situations? I mean, I would. So I think they're just trying to be careful because they can be careful, and they kind of have an excuse to be careful because they're winning games and they don't want to put too much pressure on. I think that's what they're probably doing. And if that's the case, then I have no idea when they'll call him up, because I don't want him to get called up and not have at bats. If they call him up, he is in the lineup every day. And if he's not going to be in the lineup every day right now, leave him in AAA until that season's over. Then call him.
I'm not suggesting that he's not valuable to the team. I mean, I think he absolutely is valuable to this team, both in the short term and in the long term. But he and the organization both got a little bit of a mulligan. Like he had that injury.
Yes.
But I think we can all say and all agree that his first stint in the majors did not go in an ideal way. He hit for power a little bit, but he struggled a lot in his very first time in Major League Baseball. I think to be expected. I mean, in retrospect, to be expected. He was kind of fast-tracked to the major leagues and had a difficult time kind of learning on the fly and adjusting to big league pitching. And these pitchers were giving him nothing to hit and all the different things that we know. So they were kind of giving him mulligan a little bit with this injury to get him back into AAA, get his confidence built back up, which it clearly has been. But then also I would hope that this second time in, regardless of when he's called up, whether it's this week, next week, September, whenever it is, I would hope that the second time around goes a little bit better than the first time did.
Sure. I don't think it was a mistake either, by the way. Like, he's obviously, it has not impacted his ability to hit the ball. He's crushing it in AAA, just like he was crushing it in AAA before he got called up. So as far as his development goes, no harm, no foul. I think he could learn. He probably learned a ton the first time he was up. That's going to help him. The mulligan comes in the fact that the Royals, it didn't crush them, right? They're right there in it despite it. So I don't know what they'll do. I think it's fascinating. And I don't think it's for nothing. Like, I think this is a highly impactful decision that they'll make. For me, I would rather have him in the lineup over John Rave. I love what Rave's done. It's been a fine story. But I'd also rather have him in the lineup than Nick Lofton. And at times, Jonathan India, although India's hitting well now, so I don't think you want to disrupt that. But over Grichuk, yes. Like, put him in the lineup. Get him in the lineup every day. Play Yaz in left field.
Yeah, Grichuk is a situational type guy. He's a bat against lefties, pinch hit.
Glad he's on the roster.
Yeah, for sure. And he's been productive when he's been given those opportunities.
But if you're asking me if I'd rather have Cags in the lineup or Grichuk every day, the answer is Cags. You're asking me basically of all the regular mainstays right now, of obviously not the main ones, but like of that group of players, right, in the bottom half of the lineup, the only one that I would not touch and I would say that I do not want Cags in over this player is Yaz because of what he's doing right now. That's it though. Everybody else.
I'd put Kyle Isbell in that conversation too.
Right, that's true. And I count him as a regular even though he hits in the bottom of the lineup because he's patrolling center field. Kyle Isbell's not going anywhere. But if it's that mix of players, India, Rave, not Frazier either. I wouldn't mess with Frazier either, but Lofton, India, Rave, Grichuk. Find me a way to get Cags in every day and rotate those guys around.
Yeah, I think it's simply Yaz goes over to left field.
I do too.
Cags plays right field. Isbell obviously in center. You've got Grichuk as a pinch hitter type guy in late game situations against lefties. And then in the infield, one of the two guys between India and Frazier plays second base and the other one DHs. Yep. I think that's the simplest way to do it. If you need to give Salvi a DH day, then, you do that. And Cags obviously can still play right field. And it would just mean that India or Frazier would sit out a game or two.
That's the way to go. And honestly, like they're trying to win every single game they could play. If I'm in Piccolo's chair, I have him up going to Detroit with us. That's what I would do. I don't know that that's what they will do. I don't even know that that's the right decision, but that's what I would do. Because the margin for error is so thin. Last night's a perfect example. Tommy, they let one slip away that they shouldn't have. I think that's a fair statement. They shouldn't have lost that game last night. It was they let themselves be in a position for some bad luck to bite them because that's what they had at the end of the game. The ninth inning was flat unlucky. That was bad luck, right? They shouldn't have been a tie game. Like there were opportunities there at different portions of the game where they have to capitalize. You cannot be satisfied with a 3-1 or 3-2 lead. You can't score those. That's early season Royals baseball, right? You score 3 runs in the first and that's it. Like you can't do that. Like they had opportunities throughout the game to add to that lead. They have to be able to do that. And they didn't yesterday and it bit them in the butt because weird things happen in baseball. And guess what? In the ninth, weird things happened. And you gave up 3 runs without giving up a hit. So I guess giving up 1 hit.
Yeah, there were some fluky things, some bad luck things that happened to them late in that game. I posted this on social media after the game, and you and I were talking about this. I 100% put that loss on Quatrero. That's on cue. And look, I've heard a lot of people. I had responses last night after I posted what I did on social that said, the Royals offense had all these opportunities to deliver, and they weren't able to. Yeah, that's all true and all well and good. but Quatrero's got to be better in his bullpen management. In my mind, all of that could have been avoided had Sam Long not pitched the 9th inning. He already pitched the 8th, and he was fine in the 8th inning. Sam Long is not a multiple innings type reliever in my mind. And he was back out there to start the 9th. Even if he does start the 9th, as soon as the bases get loaded and you need a guy to get you out of the jam, there were 2 outs in the inning and the bases were loaded. Put somebody else in there. And I know you already used Ursig. I know that there have been guys that have already been used in that bullpen. Lynch was already used. I know that Estevez has not been great in non-safe situations, but get Sam Long out of there with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 9th inning. That's a high leverage situation.
I
wouldn't have done that. And Quatrero sat on his hands and didn't make a move, and it ended up costing them.
I don't think I would have gone to Estevez there in a tie game. I don't know who I would have gone to, but I do agree that once the bases were loaded, which was not Long's fault.
It wasn't Long's fault, but it's a high leverage situation. Make a move.
Needed to come out.
It's
Right.
been
You
in
had
the game since the beginning of the 8th inning.
You could have
got 2 outs in the 9th. Like, make a change.
You could have found a way to get Schreiber in there. Was still available.
There wasn't even anybody warming up. Like, I don't know if you.
Well,
if
I know
you
because I'm sure when he got when they got 2 quick outs, it was like 2 quick outs, and then you blink and the bases are loaded.
Yeah.
So his hands were tied a little bit there too. I will agree with the people. That loss to me, the loss is on missing opportunities offensively. That's what I would put the loss on. But I'll agree with you that I would have not I would have much preferred to not have Long in there with the bases loaded. I agree with that completely. They play day baseball today. The Royals do. It'll be, I believe it's a 1:10 first pitch. So our coverage will begin at 1:00 for it. Hearing from Tim Fitzgerald here, we're trying this. He is stuck in like a traffic nightmare. That's why he didn't join. So we'll see if we can get Fitz in here in the next little bit. So stay tuned for that. We do have an interesting giveaway. So Jeremy Avery, it's a movie, Tommy. Jeremy Avery vying for a college golf scholarship awarded to the state championship winner, but caring for his autistic brother while competing against a rival who will do anything to win, forces him to reconsider his priorities. Now he has to choose between realizing his dreams or standing by his brother. The Short Game is in theaters August 29th. You can enter online to win a pair of tickets. All you got to do is go to kfhradio.com, click on the contest tab, and you'll see the Short Game contest, which is where you can enter. Good luck for that. We will give away some Swing 365 golf. We'll give away some HTO today. Lots of good stuff coming your way throughout the show. We're going to preview the AFC North in our divisional previews today as well. We've got a lot to get to, and we will do our best to, from across the globe, connect with Tim Fitzgerald, even if it's just for a few minutes to check in from Ireland. But again, there's a lot of things that have to go just right to make that happen. But KState is talking to the media today. That fanfare and pomp is at fever pitch, like starting today. I know a lot of people have been there beforehand. Shout out to all those listeners from Ireland who are listening to us on the Odyssey app.
Hey, by the way, I know one of the things that I know, and I'm sure you know this too, for K-State fans, and this is not meant as a knock on K-State fans at all. It just is what it is. They love wearing purple. Like their entire wardrobes can be made out of purple. And I've seen all of these different posts on social media that the surrounding airports have just been filled with purple over the last couple of days, like the Dallas airport, the Denver airport, Kansas City airport, like just everywhere you look, it's purple with people getting on these planes to go to Ireland, which is great. I mean, it's awesome that there's, going to be a whole sea of purple at this game on Saturday.
There's going to be, it will be, I don't know how these Aer Lingus games have gone historically, but I'll bet the citizens of, they're in Dublin, right? I'll bet the citizens of Dublin will look back on this one the most fondly. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait just to watch the game from here, let alone be in there. My goodness. All right, we'll try to make that connection. Max, let's give Tim a call during the break here and see if we can connect that way. If not, no big deal. We'll continue on with our day. We're just jealous. I mean, quite frankly, we're just jealous a little bit. But we'll come back. We got more Sports Daily coming your way. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood, written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
This is Rich Eisen. Check out The Rich Eisen Show, 11 until 2 on Wichita's #1 sports station, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
KFH. And now, digging deeper with the teams you follow, it's another Sports Daily Insider interview on KFH.
And we welcome back in. We did connect with Tim Fitzgerald, gopowercat.com, from the homeland there of Ireland. Fitz, I know we've got a little bit of a short leash with you today. It's traffic. We've got the team arriving, the band stuck in the airport. It's chaos out there. How's Ireland?
It's wonderful, and they moved up our media availability 30 minutes right into the time that we were supposed to do our hit. So I've been in a cab and trying to get here, but it is absolutely wonderful over here.
Has it been just, everything? I know you haven't been there for a super long amount of time, but has it been everything you've wanted it to be so far?
Yeah, I would have preferred more time outside of Dublin. And a lot of people doing that. A lot of people aren't in Dublin, they're touring. And they're staying in different cities. We wanted to do that, but at the end of the day, there's a work trip. So I wanted to make sure we were here, and we did a day trip to the Cliffs of Moher, which are a don't miss, spectacular, one of a kind thing.
Over, under, you've been there, 3 days?
That's hard to say because I'm not having regular sleep patterns. But we arrived Monday morning, left Sunday, flew overnight, and landed at about 10:30 local time, which had been 4:30 back in Kansas.
Under 20 beers.
Yeah. How many beers?
Not as many as I wanted, but still good work for how little I drink now, but horrible work for a guy named Fitzgerald in Ireland.
Yeah, that's all right.
Let's talk a little bit about preparation. If things are chaotic and crazy for you and for everybody else heading over to Ireland, what's the preparation for the game look like for Chris Kleiman and the guys?
Well, I can see it going on through a metal sense. We're about to go into our open session of practice. Unlike most travelers, when you fly Aer Lingus directly, they come pick you up. You get here on time or even early, which they did. So they're running a little ahead of schedule, but they are on the practice field here at Aviva Stadium, which is a really cool venue.
With all the chaos of it, with the magnitude of the game and how early it is in the season, Tim, it feels to me like this is an opportunity between Avery and Dylan Edwards to carry the ball 30 times and just see what happens. Am I crazy?
Yeah. No, you're not. But that is one of the many directions this could go. This feels as unpredictable as a game is that I've ever covered, because we don't know the context of these two teams that should be very good playing this early in the season, which is odd for Kansas State. Because Bill Snyder mostly, but also all the travel and a different stadium, and you're overseas. There's so many other factors into this that I've decided it's either going to be a wild, high-scoring game or defensive slugout. But yeah, it's really hard to get a grasp on who both of these teams are, particularly K-State, layer in the new offensive coordinator.
I saw the very first injury report for the game on Saturday come out yesterday, I believe it was, Fitz. Was there anything that was majorly surprising to you from the K-State side?
Well, we know Lincoln Cure was injured. We didn't know. We still don't know the severity, if it's season or just, a little bit. Hopefully we can get that today, since now they have to put it out in the public space. Brian Davis, they've raved about him all fall, players and coaches. To see him out was a little alarming. That was unexpected. Now they got great depth at that spot, but when that's a kid you expect maybe to turn into the star defensive end, possibly, to see him out for this game was unsettling a bit.
All right, Fitz, we know you guys are up against it. Obviously, you're going right into that availability. Give them hell this week. GoPowerCat.com has all the great coverage from Ireland. We'll be ready to talk about all the adventures next week.
Lots of coverage coming from over here, 50% off. Go do it, and we're heading into practice.
There you go. The craziness begins today, Tommy, for the football. I was surprised when we talked to Wyatt yesterday that they hadn't left yet. I'm like, what? Really? And I get it. I understand why. You don't want too much time to be distracted. But it's, I think it would be different, honestly, if it was K-State versus I don't know, Emporia State in an exhibition or one of those early games of the season. This is a Big 12 game. This game could decide, Tommy, who goes to the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah.
So, I get it. Get there late, all business. Sorry, boys, we don't get to enjoy this one. Like maybe it's like I can't relate it to like a college holiday basketball tournament. College hoops, and they play the holiday tournaments, and it's not that feel. Like this could very well be the most impactful Big 12 regular season game that's played. And we haven't to be right at the beginning of the season.
We haven't really talked about, the attitude going into this game for both teams, for that matter, not just K-State, but for Iowa State as well. This is not an exhibition game, and it's not. I think it could be very easy to fall into that trap of this is an exhibition game. You said the college basketball holiday tournaments. I think it's even more risky to relate it to like a bowl game. Like, I think that you could put it in the mindset of this is a scenic bowl game, but it's not a scenic bowl game because a lot of those bowl games end up being exhibitions as well. This is not an exhibition game. This is a game that very well could determine a Big 12 champion really before any other team in the Big 12 plays a game.
Yeah, and it's not just that either. It's, can you slip in as an at-large with maybe 2 or 3 losses this year? The part of it that's wild is we aren't going to know what these teams are even after this game. It's the first game of the year. If these teams played now and then played again in a Big 12 championship game, like, what would you even take away from this game? Nothing. Like, it's not even September, and we're gonna have I love that they're playing this game over there. I love that we're doing this, but man, is it a lot of pressure. It's why, and to be fair, Iowa State has their quarterback too, but we just know a little bit more about what we expect out of K-State. But these you take early season expectations with all the transfer portal and all the things that happen now in college football, which make it so difficult, and you throw that in the middle of going overseas and playing a game in Ireland. Goodness gracious. We're going to figure out real quick how the offseason's gone for K-State. And we've heard, and I believe it, that it's been for the key players, like all business, like here's what we got to do and all of these things. And at the end of the day, and this is why I asked Fitz that, like if you're Coach Kleiman, if you're the new offensive staff there, newish, to me, it's like, what can we do? What do we know? What do we know?
Yeah, what can we lean on? What can we fall back on?
We have 2 electrifying athletes. In fact, we have 2 of the most electrifying, most dynamic athletes in the country in Dylan Edwards and Avery Johnson. Boy, let's just let those guys do their thing for at least early on in the game, whatever. Let's make sure Iowa State knows they've got to stop that, because if they can't stop that, that's the safety play here. And I think it is. And I just, between the 2 of them, I think 30 carries is on the table. And I think for the entire game, even more than that's on the table for K-State.
Well, they love, by all accounts, they love Joe Jackson as well. So I don't know how many touches that adds on to it. Probably another 5 to 7 to 8. I mean, I would imagine 35 plus carries for just on the ground in general, divvied up among Avery Johnson, Dylan Edwards, Joe Jackson, maybe even others. I think that's clearly on the table. I don't think this is a game from like a player props position. I don't think this is a game that we're going to see the newcomers at wide receiver get a whole lot of play. Now that might surprise us a little bit, but I do think it's going to be like, what is tried and true? What is reliable? What can we fall back on? What do we know? And where does the athleticism take over for this team? And I do think that's where Kansas State has an advantage, because as we talked about before, outside of Rocco Becht, there's a whole lot of unknowns with Iowa State. And so they're going to have to introduce a whole lot. I think the Cyclones are in this game for just from a personnel perspective, they're not going to have a choice. Whereas Kansas State has that experience they can lean on.
But the reality is, like, and this is for everybody, this isn't just this game. There's a decent chance that the players that Iowa State brought in are awesome.
Sure, 100%.
Right? And they've
that goes back to what you've been saying for multiple days, or actually multiple weeks now. we just like it's probably a good thing that Kansas State is catching Iowa State early.
Right. You don't want to, but they have had an entire summer to install and prepare for this game specifically. And I would imagine both of these teams have absolutely been gearing at least the last couple of weeks to this game. But if you're Chris Kleiman, what are you gearing for? We don't know anything about Iowa State.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really more about gearing up what specifically you want to do. Like we're going to see pretty crisp play probably early on in this game, because I would imagine, much like Andy Reid does, the first drive, maybe 2 drives are already on paper and K-State knows exactly what they're going to run. Right now it's about, we've run these in practice. We've done all of this stuff. We just got to get out there and do what we've done over and over and over and over and over again for the last month. And then things will settle out. And then we'll get into the second half. And then it'll be like, it's going to be such an unusual game. It would be unusual for any team to play in Ireland. It would be unusual for any team to play a conference game of this magnitude right out of the gates. Could you imagine Auburn and Alabama playing in week 0? Could you imagine Michigan and Penn State playing in week 0? Like it would be insane, but that's what we're doing. And it's a great opportunity, and they're going to have the stage all to themselves. I don't remember who I was. Maybe it was here. Maybe it was like the opportunity in front of Avery Johnson. Everybody in the country that's a college football fan is going to be watching this game. Everybody in the country who is just starved for meaningful football is going to be watching this game, and he'll be right there front and center. Now, the platform has never been bigger for this kid, and I think that, it is an opportunity for him to explode into this season and just wake everybody up to how talented we know he is. It's a big, it's a high leverage, high intensity, little room for error moment, but man, is it a big moment for him specifically.
It is. I also know that it's been the number 1 priority for him in the offseason. Actually, maybe number 2, because number 1 has been to increase his body size and, get to a point to where his strength is up and all of that. But number 2 has been decision-making, I would think.
Yeah,
and it might even be 1A and 1B. Decision-making is really important for Avery Johnson in this season to cut down on turnovers and to not make the mistakes, because we know the upside. We've seen the upside for years, especially in this part of the state. We know how talented and athletic he is. As he's getting older and maturing and being a leader and all of that, there comes a time where it's like, look, I can't just put the team on my shoulders. I've got to make the right decisions. I've got to put my teammates and my entire team in the best situation possible, make the right decisions, the right reads, make the right throws, all of that. And so I think that's going to be on full display. I don't think, he's got an opportunity to explode, but I don't think we're going to see like gunslinger Avery Johnson in this game. I think we're probably going to see measured, good making Avery Johnson. And if that means that the number of yards and maybe even the number of touchdowns are slightly lower in this first game, so be it if he's making the right decisions.
I mean, when I mean explode on, I mean because of an electrifying run or a deep ball on the money where it's just like where people are like, holy smokes. The things he did as a high school prospect that opened people's eyes. We got another hour of Sports Daily coming your way. Don't go away. It's Albrocht and Caster. We're coming right back.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
the canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
This is Rich Eisen. Check out The Rich Eisen Show, 11 until 2 on Wichita's #1 sports station, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you
and inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
Now, from Wichita's most listened to sports radio, 97.5 and 1240 KFH. This is Sports Daily with Jacob Albrock and Tommy Kester.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily here on KFH. A lot of fun stuff coming up in this hour of the program. We will preview our next NFL division, which is the AFC North. Chiefs trade that has Chiefs Kingdom buzzing a little bit for a lot of different reasons that we'll get into. We'll look ahead to today's Royals game as well. It's all What's on Tap, brought to you by the Wichita Brewing Company. The just announced Kansas Lager Fest. Join WBC along with over a dozen more breweries for samples and celebration of the crisp, clean brews known as lagers. Go to www.wichitabrew.com to get your tickets now. Jacob Albrocht alongside Tommy Castor. You can message the show via Facebook, YouTube, X. You can email the show. You can leave us voice messages. You can call the show. And you can chime in on the sports topics or the life topics that we get into on the program, such as, is it appropriate for Tommy to go to a baseball game, have a bunch of beers, and fall asleep on the drive home so that the DD has to drive all the way back home by himself on the 2+ hour road trip back home from Kansas City?
Yeah, the answer would be absolutely yes. I think it is absolutely appropriate. I have no shame whatsoever. I've been very clear and vocal about this, that I'm totally, and not even just like drinking a bunch, but in general, if I'm tired and I'm in a car and I'm not driving, there's no problem at all with me to close my eyes for a little bit. I think it's perfectly fine to do that.
Because Tommy is either, well, I got to remember what year it is and hold that joke to myself. Joining us on the line right now is somebody who might have something to say about this. The driver that Tommy will sleep through and abandon and totally disregard on the drive home from tomorrow's festivities, Rob. Hey, Rob.
Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, guys.
Look, I think that, we wanted to bring you on the show because, first off, I want to be clear. We have not decided who is driving to this Chiefs game tomorrow. So we don't know if it's going to be me, if it's going to be Rob. But I let him know earlier, Jacob, that we were talking about this topic. And he was like, hey, I've got some things to say if you're going to be falling asleep on the way home back to Wichita from this Chiefs game. Do you think it's appropriate, my friend, if you were to drive, for me to fall asleep coming back from Kansas City?
You know what? Yeah. First, let me say that this discussion is timely, obviously, and it may affect the decision on who drives, right?
Sure, yeah.
Like you said, we haven't decided yet. But, yeah, when you mentioned it, I said I came off on Jacob's side in that you have a responsibility as a right seater to your driver. And the more I think about it, the scenario that you laid out, Jacob, I think it's bros, it's informal, and especially if there's a couple beverages involved and it's a long drive back, you as the driver signed up to have the responsibility. It might be a bonus if your buddy stays awake and talks you through it. But yeah, the more I think about it, I think where it comes out is if you've established the ability to fall asleep, if you've gotten permission, I think that's a big thing. But if you're at night, for example, and, you as the passenger just take matters into your own hands and decide you're going to fall asleep, I think that's bad etiquette.
I agree. I'm going to ask you this way, Rob, and I know you're just trying to be nice here. If you guys went to the game and it was like, all right, Tommy is going to drive home, I, Rob, am going to now have some beers, and you get in the car to drive back, any chance you're falling asleep?
Not without a discussion, not without permission. Hey, are you good? Then I can absolve myself of the responsibility of making sure the driver is good.
And you know what I would say in response to that? I would say, you know what? Go for it, man. Like if you're sleepy, close your eyes, enjoy.
Meanwhile, Tommy's going to pack a pillow and a blanket. You're going to get in the car. He's going to hop in the back, lay down, and really get comfortable.
No, that's going a little bit too far. Now I'm not going to lie. I've packed a pillow before on road trips. I don't believe I'm not going to do that tomorrow. But if I did, look, like
I promise you're not.
I don't think there's any, like, why not be comfortable? If you're going to close your eyes, why not be a little bit comfortable?
Because you don't close your eyes. You need to be a man, be a bro, and make it through the drive, because you got to have fun, and that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I agree. It's a shared experience at that point, instead of, like you said, Jacob, guy popping in the back and treating you like you're his driver. But that brings up another point. If it's 3 guys or more, 3 people or more on a road trip, backseat, all bets are off. You're free. You're not the right seater. You're not the co-pilot.
I don't totally agree with that one either. The only X factor in that scenario to me is backseat guy maybe a little more hungover than anybody else. Because in that scenario, then maybe, because then if you're the other two, you're like, just put him out of his misery. Like just fall asleep. That would be.
The other thing that I'll chime in on this, where I do make an exception where I won't fall asleep, is if we're going somewhere that maybe we've never been before and we need help navigating, or like, hey, we need to turn here, like whatever. But if we're coming back from Arrowhead, that's a straight shot. Like nobody needs any help to get home from that. We all know where we're going, just down the turnpike. It's simple. Like, let's just relax, turn on some music. The driver can have some music on, whatever they want to listen to. I'm not going to control the radio. They can listen to whatever. And I might even, this might be a little bit, frowned upon as well. I might even lean the seat back. I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
Wow.
Again, I think I like your exception if you're needed for navigation. I understand your position on I'm just going to fall asleep, but I go back to I think it's good etiquette or compulsory to have the discussion. Are you okay to drive? Number one, we always do that, right?
Sure.
And then before I close my eyes, are you doing okay? So do I need to stay awake to keep you awake?
You're just trying to be nice, Rob. There's a much simpler answer. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. If you're shotgun, you're shotgun, baby. They didn't sit out on the Oregon Trail, and shotgun sitting there like, hey, are you okay? Like, you might have some wild savages roll up on you. You're in shotgun for a reason. Like you got to be ready for anything.
Is that why they call it shotgun?
Yes.
I've never known why they call it that's why they call it shotgun?
At least I assume that's why. Yeah, you're riding shotgun. You're in the right seat with a shotgun, ready to take on any trouble that comes.
I didn't know that until like right this second in my life.
I don't imagine you would know that because you're riding in the back having a nap.
I'm not riding in
ever asked Tommy, Oregon Trail Tommy to ride shotgun because they were afraid he'd fall asleep.
I think the odds of us running into wild savages on the way home is probably unlikely. Would it be a problem if I changed into pajamas after the game?
Yes. We're all playing golf tomorrow, and I think I'm going to play with nothing but range balls now.
Please don't. Please don't do that.
Break.
So yeah, I think we've established that Tommy drives tomorrow.
Look, I'm fine with that.
That solves all the problems. Just have Tommy drive, and then you won't have to worry about it.
Yeah. That's exactly. That brings up the last point, or my other point is, if you're driving Tommy and your driver just abandons you, obviously you're okay with it.
Totally. You have every right to fall asleep whenever you want. If I drive tomorrow, you don't even have to ask me. Enjoy your nap, and I will be perfectly fine.
He won't. Rob won't do it because Rob's a bro. He's not going to do it.
And you're right, Jacob. I probably
he won't let himself. All right, Rob. Thank you for the insight.
I'm glad we could establish all this.
See you on the North Course tomorrow morning.
Thanks, guys.
Shout out to Crestview Country Club, by the way, for the great opportunities they provide us and for the opportunities they could provide you. They're great sponsors of this program. Lots of golf, lots of tennis, lots of pool, bar, club, all of it, all the fun. Give them a call. Tell them we sent you and ask them about all the different memberships. Austin says, what if there's bad weather? Do you fall asleep? That's crazy. Nobody's going to fall asleep in bad weather.
If there's like a snowstorm, or if it's like slick, or if it's a downpour, torrential rain, I'm probably not sleeping anyway. I probably wouldn't be able to fall asleep.
And any white knuckle scenarios would be off traffic.
It's all hands on deck, try to get everybody home safely type situation.
Man, the fact that you can walk around in public with everybody knowing that about you is something.
Yeah. I have no shame in that. I mean, like I live by the code of nap whenever possible. If I can grab a few minutes of shut eye, I don't care. I could be on a bench outside of a department store and I'll grab some shut eye, pull the hat down over my eye, a little bit of sleep. If I've got an opportunity to fall asleep for a few minutes, I'm going to take that as often as I can.
I haven't been to a movie theater in 10 years where I didn't sneak a nap in. You know, like I'm team nap. It's
I
not
used to
that
fall
it's
asleep
not a
when I was
napping.
getting my hair cut. I'd be sitting like getting my hair.
Dude,
and
I
would
could
just
so
kinda, like,
sleep when I get my hair cut.
doze and fall asleep.
I would love
Love
nothing
it.
more than to sleep during a haircut. I'm with you on that.
Now, I do have to give a little bit of clarification here. The reason why I'm okay with napping so much on the way home from a game or something, 95% of the time I'm driving. I rarely, if ever, am the passenger. So I don't get an opportunity. It's not like I'm doing this all the time. More often than not, I'm the one driving us to the game and driving us home. So it doesn't happen very often.
I think it's because your passengers want to save you from the embarrassment.
Probably.
All right, we'll come back. We got more Sports Daily. Don't go away. A lot to come here on the show today. Stick around.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts, so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
This is Rich Eisen. Check out The Rich Eisen Show, 11 until 2 on Wichita's #1 sports station, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospitalized from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. It is Sports Daily here. Jacob Albrock, Tommy Castor with you. Sports Talk on KFH presented by Paramount Plus. You can't count on much these days, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Of course, here locally, that comes on 12 News, thanks to those watching us on 12 News Connected right now. Let's give away some golf, Tommy. Private simulator at Swing 365. You can get a week's access to this right now by texting the keyword swing to 20357. That's swing 20357. Get you a week in there. We think you're going to love it. So enter that contest. Go check it out and see why we think it's so much fun. We come back in here. Tommy, Andrew chimes in, text and said, if the passenger falls asleep, it's easy. You just give a brake check and yell, "Oh, bleep," and watch the reaction. And then it's all worth it that they fell asleep. I could get on board with that. I could allow that.
Is that the punishment for doing it, or like the price you have to pay if you're going to fall asleep?
Yeah, it's more of a price. Probably less of a punishment and more of a, you
like this is the cost of admission. If you want to fall asleep, right? Yeah.
It's one of those things like, if you fall asleep on the road trip, does anybody get to draw on you? Like,
Sure. I mean, maybe if we were 19 years old and in college and going to spring break, maybe. I mean, I'd like to think that my friends are more mature than that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure my maturity capped a long time ago.
To draw on people?
I mean, it's been a long time, but I'm not going to be the guy that, as somebody
are you going to put my hand in a glass of warm water too? Like, is that what we're doing?
That's a good one. I probably wouldn't be the one to draw, but I'm also not going to be the one to lecture anybody for drawing. You know what I mean? Like, is that if that, like, all right, you fell asleep. You fell asleep. You probably deserve that. All right. Okay. Fair game.
It depends on what you're drawing and what you're drawing with. If it's a permanent marker that's not going to come off for a while and I got to go home and take care of my kids, I don't want to explain what the images that are drawn on me are.
That's right.
If it's easy to wash off, all right. I mean, do your thing. Do whatever you need to do.
Okay. And anywho, it's a good topic. You can chime in all the different ways to all the different ways to get in touch with the program. You can do that with us. Okay, let's there's some Chiefs things happening here, Tommy. First, the trade of Sky Moore. This makes sense for the Chiefs. Get something for him. He was a cut candidate. I think we've all known that. They basically flip him, but what I can understand, they're instead of a 7th, they'll have a 6th. Now they swap those picks, so they'll have 2 6ths and no 7ths. And so you move up around, and I mean, it's better than a cut because you got something out of it, right?
Yeah, isn't that the best case scenario? I mean, the fact that he was not going to make the roster, and I think all indications with this trade is that he didn't have a roster spot. I'm surprised, honestly, that they were able to even get that for him, because I think there are probably a lot of teams, and the 49ers may have been one of them, that could have just waited around after the Chiefs cut him if they really wanted him to sign him and not have to give up a 6th-round pick in exchange for that. But the fact that they were able to get value, the Chiefs were, in return for Sky Moore, I think is remarkable. The bad thing about Sky Moore, and I know I dog on him a lot and I have for a long time, the bad thing is that he's going to be remembered, I think, overall for the total body of work, where there was a lot of potential and a lot of expectations and just a lot of disappointment. Unfortunately, I'm not sure that a lot of the memories are going to be some of the couple big moments that he had. And I think you have to take the good with the bad. The Chiefs probably don't win a Super Bowl in 2022 without Sky Moore on that team doing what he did, the punt return and like all of that in the Super Bowl and just the contributions he made. Unfortunately, after that time, it was just kind of constant disappointment with him as far as his execution was concerned. I didn't realize this. I mean, it's been such a long time since this guy has caught a pass in a regular season game. You have to go all the way back to 2023 was the last time Sky Moore caught a pass in a regular season game for the Chiefs. So hopefully, I mean, I wish him the best. Hopefully he's able to get kind of a fresh start and a career renaissance with San Francisco.
Yeah, I get what San Francisco did because they didn't want to risk not being able to get him. They are desperate at wide receiver right now. They have so many injuries at that position. It makes sense to me for San Francisco. And if you're a Chiefs fan, just keep in mind, I'll take you back since kind of Brett Veach. Brett Veach we asked a question the other day on Patrick Mahomes, and was it Veach in charge? Well, Veach was in charge. If you watch that Kingdom documentary, that was a Veach, even though he wasn't maybe necessarily in the chair yet. But since he has been, there's some names that kind of pop out to 6th or 7th round picks. Nick Allegretti, Michael Dana, Trey Smith, of course, the most notable. Najee Johnson, Isaiah Pacheco, Jalen Watson were all in the 6th or 7th round. Kendrick Coburn, and then Brashard Smith this year. So it's not a worthless pick. The Chiefs do well part of the draft compared to the rest of the league. So that is stuff that can help them. And I think for them, it solves the problem of what do we do here? Because I don't think they wanted to just outright cut him. I think obviously they see something there, or they wouldn't have hung on to him for this long. So yeah, hopefully Sky Moore, he's going to get an opportunity, I think, in San Francisco. They are desperate right now at the position. Tom, you also sent something, Diana Rossini, reporting that there are a handful of teams checking in on running backs across the league. The Chiefs are one, which is interesting. The other two are the Saints and the Browns. Makes sense on both of those. The Browns haven't signed their rookie, Quinshon Judkins, yet. And the Saints, outside of, an aging Kamara, have Devin Neal, who finally was able to get onto the field, I believe, in their last game or in their last practices. So the Chiefs checking in at running back, I don't know if that means because Brian Robinson is now going to become available, who's a pretty good player. I think that tweet is hilarious because the Cowboys are not one of the teams checking in at running back, and they probably should be more than any other team. Boy, it's stubbornness and Jerry Jones peak this year.
What's their running backs? I mean, like, what's their running back room look like?
Javonte Williams, who people on this program know I love Javonte Williams, but man, these injuries have just really limited him. I'm not sure he's going to be. I mean, he's blown his knees out 8 billion times. Then Miles Sanders, and the rookie Jaden Blue out of Texas, who I also do like, but I'm not sure that anybody envisions him as an every down back. They also have Deuce Vaughn, but they could use a back. I mean, we'll see what happens. They think they're going to be fine. But the Chiefs in running back, I don't know what that tells me. Like when I read that, the first thing that pops into my head is Kareem Hunt a cut candidate? They're not going to carry 4 or 5 running backs here.
Yeah, I think that Elijah Mitchell is for sure a cut candidate.
Yeah. I think that's clear.
I don't know. Like let's just hypothetically say that the Chiefs are in on Brian Robinson, on trading for him. I don't see that as like an upgrade over Isaiah Pacheco. I see that as an upgrade. That's an upgrade over the other guys in that room, and then you would have a tandem of Isaiah Pacheco and Brian Robinson.
And Brashard Smith, I
and
assume,
Brashard
is
Smith.
going
Yeah,
to make this team.
I mean, yeah, I think Brashard Smith is going to make this team, but I guess I'm viewing Brashard Smith as something totally different. Like
Jarek
not
McKinnon. He's
not
the
an
Jarek
every
McKinnon.
down back. He's a pass
No.
catcher out of the backfield. They utilize him in different situations. So I mean, I
in
think
that scenario, right? Is it Kareem Hunt that would be replaced?
it'd be Elijah Mitchell that's replaced.
But they're not going to carry. I don't think they're going to carry 5 running backs. I don't even know that they're going to carry 4.
I think it would be. I mean, I think that it would probably end up being Pacheco, Robinson, Hunt, and Smith if they're going to carry
Carson
4.
Steele
And no Carson Steele. I mean, I think he can be I think Carson Steele can be a practice squad guy again, can't he? I don't think he
can be, but they usually like to
on
carry
that.
a fullback. Maybe they just don't, and that would be fine. But let me also say, I don't think the Chiefs are going to trade for Brian Robinson.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. They probably aren't going to. I mean, they just acquired an extra 6th round pick. I guess you could trade that. But that doesn't make a lot of sense to me because they're going to roles are all defined currently. Pacheco carries the ball primarily. Hunt gets short yardage, I assume, and pass blocking situations. And Brashard Smith is your gadgety guy. He's your Jarek McKinnon. And I thought Carson Steele would probably make it as a fullback. I mean, even if they cut him, I guess that's where there's a place. Doesn't sound or seem like Elijah Mitchell is going to be long for the team. So that's out there this morning. I don't think they're going to add a running back, but I guess it's possible.
I mean, I think it tells you, and I think we've talked about this before, that with the way that Isaiah Pacheco runs and the way he plays, he's prone to injure himself. That's happened multiple different times. So yeah, I'm sure that for Kansas City, they're thinking you can never have enough depth. You can never have enough reinforcements in that running back room. And so that could absolutely be the impetus for them at least making calls and inquiring about available running backs that they could trade for. And if it's the right move, if it's a low risk move, a low acquisition cost move, then I'd be on board with that to try to add reinforcements. If it is that 6th that they just acquired from San Francisco, okay, cool. Like if you want to give that up and go try to grab somebody that can be an upgrade over Elijah Mitchell or even Kareem Hunt, by all means, go for it.
I think the best thing that would happen is whatever happens, we don't think about it again the rest of the year, right? That means it's been fine for Pacheco. He's stayed healthy. They have enough. Hopefully this is a non-story, whatever happens, whether they do or they don't. Hopefully we don't care too much about that. Yesterday's notes, nothing changed from Andy Reid. The big kind of story yesterday is Omar Norman-Lott and Jalen Royals are not going to play. They're just nursing some things. Hopefully those 2 rookies, even though you'd like to see them get a little more reps, that's okay. Because if everyone's healthy, then you don't really need Royals to be that much of a factor in the opener. Hollywood Brown, Andy Reid says, is a kind of a game time decision. Said he wants to see him through warm-ups first, which makes some sense. And he basically said, we just don't want to set him back at all. Yeah, they'd like to see him, but they don't want to set him back. So if he's good in warm-ups, maybe they give him a couple reps. I don't think anything changes. I would bet $1 Patrick Mahomes starts 2 series in this game, and the starters start along with him. And then, you may get piecemealed, other guys getting a few more reps because the coaching staff feels like they need them. But I don't think it's going to be much more than that. But honestly, this is the one to watch. You can watch it on KWCH Friday. This is the one. This is the preseason game that'll tell us the most about certain things. It's Mahomes in there now with his offensive line. It's all these receivers potentially in there at the same time working together. How excited are you, Tommy, at the possibility? And I know Hollywood Brown and these injuries have taken a lot of the headlines. I'm really excited to see acclimated Xavier Worthy on the field at the same time as Rashee Rice. Everybody in the world, and I fall into this too, everybody just assumes Rice is the go-to guy in this offense when he's there for all the right reasons. He has been. But he and Worthy, since Worthy kind of became that guy last year, they've never been on the field together. Worthy had a higher pedigree than Rice, at least by draft capital. who's to say Worthy's not the primary option? I think that's possible. And I think everybody's just riding Rice into that role, but I don't know, man. Like Worthy was really, really good last year and into the playoffs.
Yeah, we did get a small glimpse of Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy on the field together in the playoffs. But we haven't seen the full complement of wide receivers. And so that would be the only reason that I wouldn't mind seeing Hollywood Brown, at least briefly. It would be really cool to see everybody on the field together, because we, even dating all the way back to before last season started, we've never had everybody together on this team, the entire wide receiver room that we think at least are projected out to be the starters that the Chiefs are going to carry. We've never seen that. And so it'd be kind of fun, at least for maybe one series, to see that. Although I say that, and they threw Hollywood Brown out there last year, and like the very first snap he took.
Yeah, I think we got to just make a call. Like if he looks like, if they evaluate and think he's ready to go and put him out there for a series, I won't be revisionist with it. I think there's a reason they do it. It's fine. I'll also say I think there's like a 10% chance he plays. I don't think he's going to play. If he's out there, Tommy, it's because they really feel like he needs to be out there for whatever reason. I'm not a football coach. I'll trust it, but I highly doubt that he is. Highly doubt it. They're just, I mean, what for? He's already been hurt. And what are you really going to accomplish in 2 series that you can't accomplish with him? And a vet, right? A veteran. He's been in the system for a long time now.
Yeah. I'm the first one to say that
I know you don't like
wrap Hollywood Brown and bubble wrap.
Yeah.
I just think there's a little bit of intrigue where it'd be fun to see everybody all together, but I recognize the risk.
At some point, the bubble wrap has to come off, and either he gets hurt or he doesn't get hurt. Like he can't be in bubble wrap in 2 weeks. So
Brazil is when the bubble wrap comes off.
Yeah. But his injury risk is just as high there. It's higher. I think, and that's okay. I wouldn't play him either, only because he is currently hurt, not because I'm afraid he's going to. You can't be afraid guys are going to get hurt. You just have to be prepared for guys that have a tendency to get hurt. They are now. That's why they took Jalen Royals. That's why they brought back Juju. Like they are prepared this year. If what happens to them last year happens again, they brought back Kareem Hunt. They brought these guys back. They have more reinforcements now, and that's been really tested thus far in camp. But all you can do is be prepared. But at the end of the day, football players have to play football. But I don't think he'll play. Andy Reid, what did he was asked specifically about him. He said, I'm going to play it by ear. I'm going to see how he does through warmups and all of that, and we'll go from there. This is day to day right there, so I don't want a step backwards on that injury.
By the way, yeah, they're not going to play him. By the way, on a completely different note, before we go to break, we at least have to mention the story that came out yesterday with Andy Reid and the bullet that went through the window at his office. Like, it's crazy that like this is 15 months later and the story is just now coming out. I mean, it goes all the way back to 2024 that apparently he was in his office and a bullet came through the glass. It didn't hurt him, didn't hit him or anything.
Several bullets hit the facility. One of them came through the window of his office about 15 feet from where he was sitting, apparently.
That's insane. And it's insane that it took this long for the story to come out. Sam McDowell from the Kansas City Star reported on it yesterday.
He now has bulletproof glass, by the way.
As he should.
I would say it's not that surprising because I don't think anybody knew, right? Like, yeah, I don't think the Chiefs told the players. I don't think they told anybody. Eventually, probably, maybe some of the key leaders and stuff would have known. But if that happened and you're Andy Reid, like, what's Andy Reid? Andy Reid's not going to say anything. You're not going to go into the locker room and be like, guys, guess what just happened to me? This is like no distractions, Andy Reid. Like, there's no. So I guess that part doesn't surprise me. But good Lord, what a tragedy that might have been for no reason whatsoever. Just like a random from all accounts, just totally random. All right, we'll come back. We're going to preview the AFC North. Continue those divisional previews on Sports Daily. Don't go away.
Lightning, hail, tornadoes, flooding. It's the worst of severe weather, and it's coming. Spring brings warmer temperatures, but also dangerous weather conditions. Stay up to date day or night with the Storm Team 12 weather app. You'll get accurate forecasts so you can plan ahead and stay safe, no matter the weather. Download the Storm Team 12 weather app, brought to you by Stutzman's Greenhouse.
The future of television has arrived. Next Gen TV is here with stunning video, movie theater quality sound, enhanced voice clarity, and interactive features, all upgradable for the future. Learn more at watchnextgentv.com.
Canvas of our imagination. They tell a story. Clouds affect the events of your day. Sometimes they growl, sometimes they inspire, but they're always the messengers of nature's mood written in the sky. Storm Team 12 understands the language of clouds. We're dedicated to decoding their message so you know what to expect. Behind every cloud, there is a story waiting to be told. Trust Ross Jansen and Storm Team 12, alerting you first to the impact on your life.
This is Rich Eisen. Check out The Rich Eisen Show, 11 until 2 on Wichita's #1 sports station, Kansas Fan Headquarters, 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Odyssey is one of the most influential audio and entertainment brands in the nation. You already know Odyssey's iconic local radio brands in Wichita. But did you know Odyssey has the country's best collection of music, news, and sports brands? Odyssey is also a premium podcast creator, major event producer, and digital innovator. Odyssey brings people together across the country and right here in Wichita. Odyssey also delivers meaningful radio and digital audio results. Find out our story and impact at odysseyinc.com/Wichita.
Make yourself known now.
831001 in traffic pursuit.
Oh my God, here.
Investigate TV Plus begins with real people.
We investigate stories that impact you.
And inspire change every day.
Something is broken.
Real problems.
Why are they hiding it?
And real solutions.
My daughter was dying in front of me.
What was your reaction when he said that?
Investigate TV Plus, weekdays at 3:30 p.m. on KWCH.
Hey, Wichita, Jim Rome here, celebrating over 25 years as the #1 midday sports talk show on Wichita Radio. Find out why. Tune into The Jungle, weekdays 11 until 2 on 97.5 and 1240 KFH.
Mornings are busy. We're here to make your mornings better. We report the stories that affect you.
3 more hospital lies from contaminated apple juice just a day after the FDA issued a recall.
We're here to make your mornings better.
Closing east and westbound lanes of K96 for repairs.
With 12 News, you're prepared for your whole day.
Scattered thunderstorms across the state into the afternoon.
Stay a step ahead with 12 News this morning on KWCH and KSCW.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Thanks to Prairie Fire Coffee for keeping us fueled up each and every morning here on KFH. It's all Brockton Caster back with you. Tommy, we go to one of the more competitive, one of the more historically interesting divisions in the NFL, the AFC North, as we're making our way through. There's no rhyme or reason to the order of these other than I want to end with the Western divisions because that's where the Chiefs play. And I want to hold off on the Eastern divisions because the Super Bowl champion Eagles reside there. So that takes us to the AFC North. And here we go. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland. 3 of those teams should be good. 2 of those teams could be very good. All 4 of those teams could win games against each other probably whenever they play. So this is a good division. Historically, it's been fun to watch. I think you start at the bottom. I assume we're both going to put Cleveland at the bottom.
I'm going to put Cleveland at the bottom, yes.
But Cleveland is not the Cleveland of old to me. Cleveland is a pretty good team without an answer at quarterback. Jerry Jeudy was a revelation there last year. They added Marvin Mims Jr., didn't they? I think they've got David Njoku. Myles Garrett's on what's a pretty good defense. I don't think their line is as good as it has been historically, but it's still okay. It's not like the worst line in football. It's just really a question of who's going to distribute it out. We know it'll be Joe Flacco to start the year. That means they're going to sling it. And he'll just kind of live and die, throwing it around all over the field as he has been. It's so funny with Flacco. Early in his career, he was like Mr. Conservative, never. And now, like old man Flacco just lets it rip. He's like Jameis Winston out there. But he'll be the quarterback to start the year. They won 3 games a year ago. I'll be surprised if they don't win more than 3 games this year.
I think they'll for sure win more than 3 games this year. I think that, I don't know, 5 or 6 easy would be my pick for them.
Is Flacco? I know Flacco's the answer in week 1. Of all the other quarterbacks, which really the only ones that matter are Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. How long? Let's assume Flacco stays healthy. How long do you think he starts for this team?
Not very long. I remember he started a couple of games last year for the Colts. Came out. Did he come out of retirement or he was just a free agent or whatever it was?
Something like
and
that.
when Anthony Richardson was hurt, or actually, I think maybe that was the first time that Steichen benched him. Joe Flacco came in and started a couple of games and was not very good in those couple of games. It was not the Joe Flacco that we had seen a couple of years ago when he was kind of like had that revitalization in his career and all of that. Flacco's how old now? I mean, he's old. I don't imagine that he'll start a very long time. There will be a growing cry, and there already is, but there will be a growing cry to have one of the rookies replace him. I would imagine, I don't know, within the first month of the season, probably week 4, week 5, there'll start to be conversations about whether it's Gabriel or Sanders, somebody else come in and replace him.
And then the question becomes which one of those guys. I think you know where I sit with that. I hope that we see Shedeur Sanders start games at some point this season. The interesting part of the division, because I'll also assume both of us will pick Baltimore to win it. The interesting part comes in the second 2 teams, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. Pittsburgh finished ahead of Cincinnati last year. Cincinnati, we had a lot of fun with Cincinnati last year because I was goading you with them. They got on the win streak, won the last 5 games. My overall general tone with Cincinnati, by the way, does not change. That is a team for the Chiefs that I just would prefer they don't see in the postseason. I don't care what happens in the regular season. I don't care if they inch their way in. A chip in a chair with Joe Burrow in the playoffs, to me, is as dangerous a thing to the Chiefs as there is in football. Can they get there this year? I think they can. They're better than Pittsburgh, in my opinion. Pittsburgh's probably more well-rounded, but Cincinnati's offense is would you openly take any offense like directly? This offense will be better than Cincinnati. I think they're in the category with the great offenses.
They're in the category. I mean, I think Buffalo and Kansas City would like to have a conversation about.
Well, Baltimore would too. Baltimore was historic last year.
Those offenses would like to have a conversation about being the best in football. But I mean, don't get me wrong, Joe Burrow and his wide receiver core in
And Chase Brown now with a full
Brown. I think that they're among the best in the NFL. I think if you're comparing Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, you can look at Pittsburgh, in my opinion, even with Aaron Rodgers, you can look at Pittsburgh as kind of just a straight line, right? Like it's just kind of like a steady horizontal line. I don't think their floor is very low. I don't think their ceiling is very high. I think it's very much like in my opinion, they're probably right around a 500 team. With the Bengals, it's a roller coaster. Like I think the floor is very low and I think the ceiling is very high. Cincinnati is going to have to score 40 plus points a game, like they did in a lot of games last year, to have a prayer at making the playoffs this year. Now they can do it. They have the offense to do that. It's high octane. It's explosive. Joe Burrow is one of the best in the league. Obviously Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, that entire group, and they found a running game last season as well. If they can keep that up, then they absolutely can put up a bunch of points game in and game out. Regardless of the Trey Hendrickson situation, it to me looks like they are going to try to play without a defense. Like it's just kind of like, look, it's just going to be a matter of, can we score more points than the other team? Bottom line. And if they can do that, yeah, they'll be a playoff team. But there were plenty of times last season, even with Trey Hendrickson on the field, that the Bengals put up 35 plus points a game and they lost and they didn't make the playoffs because of that.
To me, it's more about the new defensive coordinator, not so much about Trey Hendrickson on what improvements can be made on that side of the ball. They did draft to help the defense, which is always, that's been a trend in the NFL that has worked for teams. So, we will see on that. They kind of remind me of like 2018 Chiefs is it 18 where they lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, Mahomes' rookie year, or Mahomes' first year as a starter.
Yeah.
That's to me kind of what they remind me of what they could be. Just track meet.
You remember that Monday night game, the Chiefs and the Rams, and it was like 50 to 48
Mexico,
or whatever.
It was supposed to be in Mexico.
And like it was Mahomes and Goff just like trading touchdowns back and forth. That's going to have to be the Bengals basically every single game.
And remember that Chiefs team made the AFC Championship game and almost beat the Patriots, right? So that's what I mean. Like of all the teams that are not these elite teams across football that you could say not just have a chance to like get to the playoffs, but have a chance to win the Super Bowl, to me, that's still Cincinnati because I think that highly of Joe Burrow. So that's kind of my thought on Cincinnati. I will probably put them ahead of Pittsburgh, which is a little bit crazy, Tommy, because Pittsburgh, who finished 10-7, added DK Metcalf, added Jonnu Smith, added Aaron Rodgers. All of these are upgrades for them. Their defense is largely the same. I know Cam Hayward's been grumbling about a contract. I don't know what's going on with that, but they obviously have TJ Watt back. Like, it's the same team plus a better offense, almost certainly a better offense. And they were 10-7 last year. So they really are. And it's not just the Rodgers thing. Like, that's going to make them interesting. Don't get me wrong. I won't pretend like it doesn't. But they're a really interesting team. Because Steady Eddie Mike Tomlin just got the best quarterback he's had in the last 5 or 6 years. They added DK Metcalf, which is an upgrade. As much as I like George Pickens, DK Metcalf's an upgrade for them over George Pickens. And Jonnu Smith was outstanding last year in Miami. This team's probably going to be better offensively than it was a year ago, and it won 10 games.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think that they are about like the floor and the ceiling are pretty close to each other for the Steelers. And I actually have them finishing ahead of Cincinnati in the AFC North. I think that just because of the wild swings that it's hard to predict with the Bengals because I think it could be such a roller coaster ride for them.
1-5 every year.
Absolutely. Yeah. I do think that Pittsburgh is more predictable, even with Aaron Rodgers on that team. I think they'll have a more predictable finish, primarily because of all the returners that you mentioned and the Mike Tomlin effect. At the end of the day, though, we can talk about Cleveland and Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. This is Baltimore's division to lose, and it has been, and it will continue to be. As long as John Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson are there, they are the top dogs in that division. I see no reason why that would change this year. Derrick Henry is another year older. I think everybody keeps waiting for him to lose a step or two, and eventually it's going to happen. But with the dynamic abilities of Lamar Jackson and the steady hand of John Harbaugh, who I think is one of the more underrated coaches in the NFL for his tenure and longevity and all of that, this is Baltimore's division to lose.
It is. And I think, and I'm not ready to, I mean, for the sake of these conversations, and we'll make our official like previews soon once we get through these divisions. I'll go Baltimore, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. I think, and I'm not there yet on any of this, I think if it's not going to be the Chiefs for me in the Super Bowl this year, like to win it, I think Baltimore is going to be who it is. Baltimore was so good last year. Baltimore's defense ascended. Remember at the beginning of the year, Baltimore had like the worst defense in football, right? All of a sudden, those young guys figured it out, and then it flipped and they became one of the better defenses in football. So I would anticipate that their defense is very good this year. Derrick Henry at some point will, take a step back, but he's more like Adrian Peterson and Frank Gore than he is like the normal NFL running back. Like they can utilize him in a way that I think they can extend his greatness. I don't know if it'll be what it was last year, which is an MVP candidate, but I think it's still going to be very good. I think they have underrated pass targets now with Flowers and Bateman, and Mark Andrews is still there, and Isaiah Likely will get healthy at some point. I think they got a lot of weapons. I just don't see any reason why they won't be at least as good as they were a year ago.
Yeah.
And they probably should have made it in a year ago.
Well, and look, the Chiefs beat them by a toenail last season at the very beginning of the year. Had the Chiefs caught them later on, back half of the year, I'm not sure the Chiefs would have won that game. The Ravens is big time.
And they're kind of a bad matchup for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
At least based on what we know historically, like with Derrick Henry clicking on all cylinders and all of these things and quarterbacks that can run, like these have been things that have challenged the Chiefs over the years. So we'll see. I'm not there yet because I can't decide, honestly, and we'll get to the AFCs because I think Buffalo should probably also be better. The challenge for me, Tommy, is I think all the good teams from a year ago, with the exception of Washington, I think every one of the good teams in the NFL got better this year. Like, I think they all got better except Washington, who I think now it's unraveling a little bit on them. So it's really hard right now to pick those out, and I'm not looking forward to doing it because I can't decide what I'm going to do. All right, we'll come back. We got more Sports Daily. Stick around. It's Albrecht and Castor on a Thursday.